past. And it was like I started probably early high school, and it was always kind of on and off, sometimes for like months. But then,
we're gonna have a really good discussion. Today we're gonna discuss fighting demons and the importance of choosing the right partner. Today we have none other than Brandon.
Yo, Vaughn. Good to be here, bro.
Yeah, good to have you.
Thank you.
So being that we just started the podcast, I felt like the only way that we could do it properly was to have you on board as the first episode, because I feel like we before we did like the documentary, and I felt like it's a story and the things that you went through, it could really help people,
I feel that.
So I just wanted to do this and actually have this sit down with you and talk about the importance of choosing the right partner.
We love you, ladies.
Yeah. Oh, life's changed, right? It's like we went from one thing to the total opposite.
One thing I'll say about Vanessa is she changed my life, and not just like a guy changing for a girl. She did the changing for me. She was there and she stayed there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and like why you say something like that?
I don't know. I thought it was a good starter. You're talking about our ladies. I got real heartfelt. And maybe I started off a little strong with that comment.
No. I think that was a good comment, because I feel like as men, like even for me, it's much harder for me to express myself that way. I'm not that expressive, right? So for you to say something like that, it kind of blew my mind. Anyway, that being said, let me get into the story and let people know a little bit about you.
Okay, you want me to go?
Yeah.
Where did we could start at, like maybe where I met you.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I don't know. We met here through a mutual family, right? Like my brother played soccer with you, and then I met your brother and got so close with Jason. And around, wow, I feel like I'm jumping in too fast, but I was in a car accident back in 2010, and it set me back. And there's a lot of healing to do. And then like there was a lawsuit that happened, and 6 years later came into some money as I got out of a 3-year relationship. So I just, instead of buying a house or doing the things I should have did, I kind of just turned up and tried to be free, because I wasn't in the right place coming out of that relationship. But I met you guys around that time, and you guys were very healing for me, as a shoulder or an ear to talk to. Maybe not so much a shoulder to cry on, but I tried to cry a couple of times, and you asked me what was wrong with me.
And it's crazy, because from when I just met you to now, as I was saying before, like how much we changed. Like I remember the first time I met you was with Curtis at the barbershop.
Yes, very good.
Yeah,
That's right.
And you were with your other brothers and stuff.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
That is kind of my feeling of how we met.
Yeah.
And when I think of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. And that's going down the road of when things got worse, and just like falling into like party scene and drugs, and you guys I don't even think knew too much, and I just started getting a lot of guilt. And I would, in the later days anyway, and I would come to you guys and apologize a lot and more tell you than what you even knew. So eventually I filled your head with like an image, even if you didn't have that image yet, because I'm such an open book and just talking. But I felt like I loved you guys like family, so I felt like I neglected all of my actual family and my closest friends like you guys. I just took off, and people don't want to come to random house parties with me. I'm like, I'm going.
Yeah. And honestly, for me, it wasn't even me like judging you like that.
No, you never did. I wish I never said nothing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here though.
Yeah. So like
probably be worse off.
Well, I feel like you give us too much credit, because I feel like it it had something to do with your own strength,
Yeah.
I think my only concern ever was, I remember one time when we was on the beach last and I told you, I was like, yo, just be careful, right? Because I don't want,
Yes, I remember. And I got up and walked around you and hugged you from behind, because it was so, like, you almost made me tear up. And Christy's like, oh.
Yeah, exactly, because it is a serious thing, right? And now having conversations with you, and you're saying things like you're trying to start a new business and stuff.
Yeah.
It really motivates me. Falling is actually a strength and not a weakness. And
100. I see that today.
yeah, exactly. So for you coming from, because where did you come from originally?
I grew up outside on a pig farm outside of a little town called Gorrie, like Gorrie, Gorrie,
Gory, Ontario.
Gorrie, Ontario.
Yeah, so for you coming from where you come from, and
Really, it was like in the documentary we made, I started and quickly went through the past, and it was like I started probably early high school, and it was always kind of on and off, sometimes for like months, but then something would change, and it would go away. I'd go back to just normal sober person, and then it only really got bad like after I met you guys. I had way too much money and was kind of in a bad way, and then I always hate to start back at square one. And at the state of like what we'll get to, it felt like a low, weak bottom of stage one. And like I'd never felt shame in the past all those years. It just went away. All I ever thought was someone like you that loves me in some way, even if I disappointed you, one day when you see me better, you won't be disappointed anymore. And that is true today. But I was at a point where I didn't think that was a thing anymore. Like I thought I disappointed myself and people so much that I might not get the things back for once.
yeah, no, you're right.
And I didn't know if that was older age or what it was, but I just, yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause, that's one thing that I always saw with you, is that it was always like you always try to apologize.
I'm getting past that though. That's how I know I was ready to like come in today.
Yeah.
Was that I don't feel that so much anymore.
Yeah.
Like that's how I know I'm getting better, instead of like lying to myself or not sure if I am or not. More sure of myself now.
Yeah, and you're right, because this is one of the things that we spoke about before, was that I didn't want you to feel like you had to talk about like all the stuff that you went through and all the dark stuff, because that's in the documentary, and how you battle those demons, and I don't want to put you on the spot. I just want people to understand that you did battle the demons and you killed most or probably all of them, and you had help. I felt like you had someone in your corner who had your back, and somebody who I could trust will fight with you with the things that you're going through, right? And fight for you, and somebody who understands you more than anybody else could understand you. I want people to understand why it's so important to choose the right person, and the person who have you, because I know you had some bad relationships before, right? That's how we end up in this situation, and then Vanessa came along. Yeah, so and how did you meet Vanessa?
Strip bar. No, I'm just joking. No, I met Vanessa back in 2008, living in St. Thomas. I moved there, and a guy that lived behind me was a good friend of hers, and he would always have like people over, and Vanessa would come around, and there's certain staple people that I've always been like years later, like, imagine what it'd be like if you dated that person. Or remember how cool, I have lots of love for people. So it's like Vanessa just being a friend of somebody that I thought was good people. I was like, loved her in my eyes for years, even if it wasn't like in love with her. And then so when I ran into her in London on the bus a couple times, and I'm like, oh, hey, Vanessa. I'm like, you're looking great. And you know her. Shit, love that smile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And then we started dating in COVID. We got together a few times over the years, and then I went to visit her in Kitchener 2 days before lockdown happened. And then while we were visiting, lockdown happened. So, shacked up with her and her 2 girl roommates and 2 dogs, like for a month and a half. Nothing. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then now we're together.
It's amazing because understanding how people's personalities could be, because you had such a strong personality. I think the best part about you is that you wanted to change.
Yeah.
Is that you want to change, because somebody else it won't have been like, and that's why I say like that you give people too much credit. You kind of underplay how strong you actually are by saying that, or this person saved me, or the Patron brother saved you, or
Yeah.
but the thing is that nobody can get saved unless they truly want to be saved, right?
I did want to.
I take my energy serious.
I know.
So I look at like energies that I keep around me, and I like to to be around people who always trying to be better.
It is really refreshing to have like friends. You guys might have been like some of the first friends that I felt like I could actually trust and count on, like even like without giving you too much credit, or if you guys love me or not, or were bad friends or not, I knew that you cared
Yeah.
and you wanted good for people like you do. And this is why you started these podcasts. And
Yeah. Um.
I wouldn't have wasted your time. I would have stopped. I would have stopped coming around if I thought I was wasting your time.
There's a lot of people who say they want help, bro, and there's people who look for help. You know, like some people will be like, I want help, but then they will go and get a girlfriend who doing the same things that they're doing. And just today we was having that conversation actually in the shop, and I was saying that, yeah, you have to choose somebody for who you want to become and not for who you are, right? Because a lot of people choose somebody who just like them. People like, somebody will be like, I want to get a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and it has the person has to be like me. But when you get somebody like you have no growth. You have no room to grow into. Like, you get somebody who have certain things that you want. Sorry. And they will see certain things that you want, because even though Vanessa helped you without plenty of ways, you would have helped her to become a better person, and to understand herself much more. So it's like iron sharpening iron.
Yes.
Don't feel like you have no strengths. You have so much strength that you have in you.
I should say that more, and I am aware of it, because even Vanessa said, and I've had like old bosses say and stuff that tried to help me, they were like, in the end, they say, I'm the only one that can help myself. And because I wasn't looking for help, I was angry when you tried to help me.
Yeah.
But like I was looking, I did want different, because I've had different, and I know myself, and I get my confidence from being a good person. So it doesn't sit with me right when I'm not at my best. Even if I'm enjoying it for a minute, it doesn't last long. It's just like me. If I tried to be fake, it wouldn't last long, and I'd open up into a real book. That's like what's in my head. Even when I'm trying to love the party life, that was kind of fake me. I was trying to skip all the hard work to getting to a successful growth and just go out and feel like I'm there already. Yeah. Smiling in a crowd.
And I think like a lot of the times, God allow us to go through things that could help people, and a lot of the things that happen in our life. Actually, I feel like 80% of the stuff that happen in our life is not for us, but it's to help somebody. So like the stuff that you went through is so that you have a story or something that can help somebody else that will be going through that thing, and somebody could be like, oh, this guy went through it and look at where he is, and for somebody to go from being on top of the world to being like, I'm gonna go with my girlfriend and move into a trailer in the middle of nowhere and just spend time trying to find myself. I think that part of your life was such a big part. It played such a big role in who you're becoming, and I'm so proud to see that transition and where it could be, but that small part was with you being out on the lake in the rain, just looking out into the lake, and I feel like in the documentary there was a line that you said. It's like, oh, I like standing here and looking out into the lake.
It's different colors every day.
Yeah,
it's like dreams, or it's different colors every day. It's like the closest thing to flying is the water, I thought, like floating and swimming.
I always felt that you was stronger than I am, because if I was going through the same thing, I don't know where I would be.
Yeah, I had a friend ask me that. He's like, how you doing? And I said, I'm doing good. And he's like, I can tell you seem happy. He's like, if I went through what you went through, he's like, I wouldn't be okay. And I'm like, I gotta be, otherwise I won't be.
When the story over, everybody, you will look back and you'll be like, oh, look at this, I think the attributes you have right now. Sorry, I think the attributes you have right now you wouldn't even realize, but you could easily be a life coach.
I feel that. I feel like with time, I'll see if that's in the cards for me, or like part of my journey. I follow some other people that had, I thought, similar struggles, like on social media, and that are doing that with their life. And if I, one day I might do a podcast, or like, completely stay sober forever. Like, but if that's where it goes, I don't know that that'll be for sure at this point in my life. But I do kind of feel like I could be meant to do that kind of thing.
One of the things that you told me last week was that you're starting to get into business and you're starting to really like business. Um, and you're starting to see it, right? You were saying
I like working with people. I was even saying today, like we had a little like invited a few local people to like a New Year's Eve party we had last year, and I was just saying to her like when we do another one, I'd like to invite some of my customers, and just like I really enjoy working for people and giving them a good quality fare, like something I can contribute to the community, like especially since COVID, you know.
Yeah.
It's small, it's start, you know, like I'm not an expert in like a lot of things, but I can do a lot of household repairs and stuff. And the business is BT Screens, or BT Screen Repair, local Port Stanley, and also Odd Jobs. But I put on the business cards, ask about Odd Jobs, because you know I'm not an electrician
Yeah.
for higher voltage stuff or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I feel like it's still a start.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, and when we had our conversation, we were talking about it, and it's still a start, and the things that you could become. I think I think your life just started, honestly.
I feel like it has.
Yeah.
I felt like it did when I met you. I really did. I felt like I knew myself for the first time because I had enough money to take care of myself for the first time in my life. I was like, no matter what, I didn't feel scared anymore. I could always get something to eat if I needed it. I could take a bus, even if it was small time. And and then I told Jason a long time later when I fell off from that, I said, I fell off from that. And Jason's like, never let yourself fall off. I wish I didn't. Starting to feel good now. Be like walking with my head high. Maybe I veered off there, sorry.
No, you're good, because you're talking about the things that you went through and how you feel about. I heard a saying, and they said, we have two lives. We have two lives, and the second one starts when you realize you only have one.
I love that.
You know, and I think that's what actually happened with you.
I feel like that's how I feel.
Exactly, because back then
I feel woke like crazy.
Exactly, and then you realize that you have so much things that you could do. You know, and starting from scratch for you is a huge deal, bro. It's not something that's small or something that's to be taken lightly.
I just got to remember one day at a time and not like stress about what I want and need it for the future.
Yeah.
It's like,
No, there's another podcast I was listening to, and the guy was talking about his dad, and his dad was on drugs and stuff, and he asked his dad if he would never do drugs again, and his dad said he can't promise he would never do drugs again, but what he could promise is that he won't do drugs for one more day, and it's actually called the 1 day rule or something like that, where you promise yourself to do something for one more day.
okay.
He said his dad never did drugs again, because every day his dad said, I will do it for one more day. You know? So every morning you wake up and you say, you know what? I can't promise I won't do drugs this weekend, but tomorrow I won't do drugs. And every day you say, no, one more day, one more day, one more day.
I love that. That's actually a really good tool.
Yeah, he said his dad never used drugs again. That's
So everyone listening to this podcast when it airs, listen to the, take notes.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna remember that.
It seems easier, right? It's just one more day. Like it's not a big goal. You don't have to go you don't have to think about, like how you just say, when I think about the future, you just think about one more day. Just do it for one more day, bro. Just do your business one more day. Just live one more day. You know, if we fall, we fall. We're supposed to fall.
Yeah.
Right, we're supposed to fall. Everybody falls. Everybody have the flaws, you know.
Some of it's therapy to me. I needed to hear some of those things, like you telling me that you were giving me space, because nobody ever, like when you try to talk about that stuff, when it's all happening, all you ever get from your friends that are trying to give you space is, no, everything's good, bro. One of my reasons I gave when, just before me and Vanessa got together, like, I was saying reasons I didn't want to date or be in a relationship. And one of them is I just didn't want to drag anybody down. I just don't want to see anyone get hurt. And like, I'm glad that I left and moved to the trailer park because I needed to give all the most important people before I really lost them. Maybe, who knows? Or like, like you're busy. And then I inevitably could have gotten a argument with one of my friends that are very busy and have drive, where it's like, Brandon, no big conversations right now. We're working. This is business. I don't know. Maybe I'm veering off a little bit. I feel like I'm trying to add things to my life right now that's just a positives, like, going back to the gym, trying to join the sailing squadron last year, doing sailing lessons this year, tried baseball last year, but I pulled my Achilles, so that never happened. But, you know, taking this year off drinking and, like sober for 5 months and just like little things and like, changing up my jobs. And even though in the past I changed jobs, maybe because maybe you didn't leave for the right reasons, but I'm leaving jobs now only for the right reasons, to grow, to move forward, and I feel the more little things, and I don't always feel like I've accomplished that much, but sitting here right now and saying it, I feel like and thinking that thought just kind of came to me there, like definitely adding these things are making me feel more positive. And I've always wanted to bring more to my friends' lives and people around me. I want to bring something to the table, especially as you get older. You can't just shoot the shit all the time. It's not all about just shooting the shit, especially when people are busy. If you want to get in on that busyness, you kind of got to be busy too.
Exactly. It comes back full circle to you wanting better, and you always being like, it have more.
Yeah, that's just it. I barely even think about it now. Yeah. Like I had nightmares and stuff for a while.
Exactly.
Like stupid dreams. Hated it.
Exactly.
And it's starting to get better.
And then having somebody like Vanessa, 'cause I remember a lot of the times you told me, I would come to London, but I don't think Vanessa would be too happy.
Yeah. Yeah, we said that recently. We were driving in town. We don't come to London like ever. And we were in town and we were both in agreement of that I'm comfortable being here, because I wasn't really. I was just either over it, felt like there was so much disappointment. There was always somebody that I didn't want to know anymore around the corner. But it's like a lot of people's perspectives on where they live is like somebody could be like, oh, that little town is so full of drugs or something because they were around it. But then there's somebody else that just loves to go back to that home little town because they never had that experience. They just had wasn't their scene, different scenes. Yeah. And so you can always just change your scene. And I just feel good here again. And I don't crave to come here as much, but I'm happy when I do.
Yeah, and London is so segregated in that way. Is that London, if you have certain friends, you're gonna do the wrong things like party and stuff. There's everything, and then if you have a different kind of friend, different set of friends, then you do so much more productive things. And like, for instance, I started going on Instagram and looking at the London page, and there's so much cool people in London doing like cool stuff with 2 likes on Instagram. And I'm like, how is this person not getting 1,500? And you should try it. You should, cause
yeah. Well, I have been since I made that business. I made a business page on Facebook, Port Stanley Local Screen Repair, and
shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, wait. But that is what it's called. Yeah. I gave a lady my business card recently and wrote BT Screens on the back and told her to go to it, but that's not the name. Yeah. So she's not going to find it. But that page, I only liked local stuff. Yeah. And not like other feeds. And I've just been really diving into what's going on in Port Stanley. So yeah, sorry about that shameless plug. You can just edit that out if you want.
No, I'm just joking.
I know. I literally thought it.
Plug yourself in, bro. Plug yourself.
I was saying I should have brought a business card and maybe you could do like an advertisement at the start or the end. Yeah.
Go to BT. What's
BT Screen Repair.
Go to BT Screen Repairs.
Yeah, that's right.
Ask for Brandon. I don't know what the BT means, but it might mean something with Brandon.
Do you think I should change the name?
If you should change the name, I think the name is.
It's just my first and last initial.
I think the name is who you want to be right now, right? So
yeah, I don't
think you should change the name.
Yeah. My name's on the card.
Yeah, that will come
right underneath Vaughn. No,
come. And I don't think for all the things that you mentioned in your life, I think you deserve to have a business on there.
I feel good about it. It actually, you saying you always seeing you creating opportunities, even though I haven't created, like I have created a few aside from that. Just last year I fixed screens. This year I started the business, and then right away there was someone that hired me to do a job because the odd jobs, but turned into a bigger job to whenever I want opportunity. And then there was been talking to another friend about a few different projects, and it just. There's another guy on the Port Stanley thing they just posted that is renting out loungers like at resorts on the beach now by Tower 3, and like that's it. He just bought some loungers and he's made a post and he's out at the beach. And there's so much opportunity if it's big or small.
Yeah, I tell people all the time. Imagine the guy who went to his mom and told him that he loves popcorn and all he wants to do is sell popcorn. And his mom and his family probably was like, "This guy is crazy," and now he has all these stores in every mall. Like God gave everyone these dreams, and I feel like so much people have their talents and their dreams, but they want someone else's. All people like, oh, I don't have visible dreams. I don't have visible talents.
I literally talk about this recently all the time at home.
Yeah, I just don't have, I can't play basketball. It's like, yeah, but when I come to your house, all your clothes packed out in every drawer in color. It's like, yeah, but that's not talent. I don't want to clean people's houses. It's like, no, you got to think outside the box. It's no more cleaning people's houses. It's like, now you have a skill that most people don't have. Most people can't organize. Like for me, if I didn't have Christy, I would go crazy because I hate cleaning. If I have a mess here, I can't clean it. She needs to tell me what to do to clean it. But I can't work with it.
Yeah.
So I can't work and I can't clean. I can't focus.
Yeah, you can't work in a mess, but you can't clean.
Yeah, because I can't think about where things need to go. So it has so much people like that who like, you know what, this person's skill is just organization, or this person's skill is kids. This person could deal with kids. This person is a dog whisperer. How like I watch America's Got Talent all the time, and the reason I watch it is because
I like that.
People with so much unique talents. How this person know, right, that they could swallow a sword?
Yeah.
Who tell this person one day, oh yeah, I think he could swallow swords? The only way you can know these things is by spending time with yourself. Everyone has talent. Everybody has skill. Everybody has the same amount of talent in different areas. I say till this day that the world is yet to see the best at anything, because the best at anything doesn't think he's the best or doesn't want to pay the work to be the best. So and I think about this every night when I go to sleep. That the world has never seen the best at anything. There's someone who has the best movie in their mind right now going to bed because today at the 9 to 5 was hard. And they just want to sleep. They have somebody who's the best basketballer right now, but they want to do something else because they need something else. And the list goes on.
I'm excited to see like what comes in the future, and like there's a bit of struggle right now, but I've been getting a little more clarity that it's all going to work out, like you said, one day at a time. But I feel like I have a lot of untapped talents that I only got so far with the talent and didn't want to do the work. And now I feel like, put in the time, I'll do the work.
Yeah.
Just got to build, learn a little bit, build that foundation. It all gets a little easier. I'd like to say in the future, like you should give me a call, like not just to shoot the shit, but like when you just feel like it could be something I'm interested in, you want to pick my brain, and I'll be there 100% to like engage and not just be like, yo, Vaughn, and like, I love you, bro, miss you. No, like, yeah, give me, for real, remember that, give me a shout when you want to teach me something, when you want to pick my brain. I'll give you some real feedback. I'm actually pretty good at talking with people. Like you said, I could help people. I think a lot of the time I just not sure why I'm calling my friends except for just to call them because I miss them. And then let's create together, even if we don't, like, let me in on the loop, teach me something. If you're bored and need someone to talk to, teach me. I want to know.
For sure.
I don't know. You were teaching me the other day, just talking about business, man, and you're telling me to really dive into it, even if it's little, so then it'll help me know business for future business. Even that was freaking helpful. Like, really was.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me, bro. I feel blessed being asked to come on to this, and wasn't sure that I'm necessarily, even though I'm a authentic person, and that's genuinely why people get heartfelt or like of the things I say, because it doesn't come off as fake, and it is real, even if sometimes it's just like word vomited out. I knew I was in a comfortable place to be here, and I knew that I wasn't actually that nervous. I was really surprised, and I'm glad to be here, and more than ever do feel like I have something to offer. Maybe before I wasn't sure that I was the right person, even though you were asking me to be. So thank you for that.
Thank you guys for listening. This was episode 2. with Brandon. Yeah, I'll see you guys next week.